Hey man, you might have watched the movie The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Remember Emma Watson's character Sam? She's that calm, quiet, bookish girl who finds herself drawn to a boy who's different from her world, open, vulnerable, and a bit of a misfit. Now forget the movie for a second because you've probably seen this in real life too. The studious, sophisticated girls, the ones who sit quietly in class, top exams, read a lot, they often find themselves strangely attracted to the loud, fun-loving, carefree guys. These are the girls who may look shy on the outside, but inside, they're curious, full of emotion, and sometimes even longing for something they can't name. Robert Greene, in The Art of Seduction, calls such people novices, one of the 18 types of people he says we get drawn to. Now, don't get confused by the word victim that Greene uses. He doesn't mean it negatively. He uses it to describe the person you want to build a connection with, the one you're drawn to, or want to influence, inspire, or even seduce. In his view, seduction is a bit like solving a puzzle. You're one piece, and the person you want to connect with is another. Unless both pieces fit, nothing clicks. The connection doesn't spark, and the chemistry doesn't build. But if you do figure out who the other person is, what drives them deep inside, then you can complete the puzzle. You can become exactly what they didn't even realize they were missing. See, most people have no clue about this. Some of the kindest, smartest, most decent people end up alone, simply because they never understand how connection really works. Meanwhile, someone who seems average in every way ends up dating the most charming, desirable person in the room. Why? Because intentionally or not, they become the missing puzzle piece. They meet that emotional or psychological need the other person was craving. Those who don't understand this spend years in frustrating relationships. Or worse, stay alone thinking there's something wrong with them. But there's not. So here's my request before we dive in. I'm about to share all 4 types from Greene's book. And as I do, try to imagine that one person you're interested in, whether it's someone you like romantically, want to influence, or just want to connect with on a deep level. Picture them. And as I explain each type, ask yourself, which one fits them? What unmet need might they have? And how could you become the person who fulfills it? Let's start with the very first type. Type 1, the crushed star. Think of someone like the character from Moneyball. Billy Beane, once a baseball star with big dreams. But life didn't go the way he planned. He's still strong, still capable, but behind that confidence is a shadow of the greatness he used to feel. Crushed stars are exactly that. People who once basked in the spotlight, who were once admired, celebrated, but now feel overlooked or forgotten. They still carry that hunger for attention deep inside, though they don't always admit it. You'll recognize them at parties the moment they get a little attention. They light up. Give them a compliment, ask them about their past, and they'll open up like a book. Sometimes, after a few drinks, they might even go overboard, bragging or reliving their glory days. So how do you connect with a crushed star? It's simple. Just make them feel like a star again. Ask about their stories. Show genuine admiration for their past. Let them feel like they're the most interesting person in the room. And they'll gravitate toward you like a moth to flame. But a word of warning, if you also crave constant praise, you two might end up clashing instead of connecting. Type 2, the novice. This is the person I hinted at earlier, the shy, awkward, thoughtful one who lives in a quiet world. They might come across as reserved, but trust me, their inner life is rich. They're the ones who read deep books, watch niche documentaries, and often surprise you with unexpected wisdom. The world sees them as quiet, but there's a fire inside. They're just waiting for someone to bring it out. And that's what draws them to bold, unpredictable people who are playful, open, and a little wild. These bold personalities help unlock the novice's hidden side. How to connect with a novice. Don't overwhelm them. Instead, slowly explore them. Take them somewhere where they can be themselves without fear of judgment. Share new experiences. Let them feel safe. Be both mature and playful. Show them that life can be exciting and gentle. That's when they'll open up, and once they do, you'll be amazed at the energy inside them. Type 3, the lonely leader. These are the high-performing individuals who carry the world on their shoulders. CEOs, creative geniuses, elite professionals, the ones who lead the charge while everyone else follows. From the outside, their lives seem full. They're in boardrooms, on stages, in social circles packed with admiration and applause. But behind all that noise, there's silence. Because the truth is, being at the top is isolating. Most people see their title, their clout, their influence and approach with an angle. They want something. A connection, a deal, an introduction, a shortcut. And over time, the lonely leader learns to filter every conversation through suspicion. They don't ask, is this person kind? They ask, what do they want? And that's what makes them hard to reach on a real emotional level. You'll know you're dealing with a lonely leader by the way they hold themselves. Composed, controlled, confident, almost like they're always 5 steps ahead of the conversation. They're not cold, but they are careful. Their eyes scan the room even while they smile. They've mastered the art of reading people fast because they've had to. But every now and then, they slip. They'll make a quiet joke about always being the fixer. Or they'll sigh and say something like, it's exhausting being the one who always has the answers. That's your opening. So, how do you connect with someone like that? The key is to be unexpectedly real. Don't try to flatter them. They hear compliments like static. Don't fawn over their success. They've already heard the same praise 100 times. What they crave, but rarely find, is someone who treats them like a person instead of a position. Be blunt. Be relaxed. Be playful. Talk to them the way you'd talk to a friend sitting on a couch in sweatpants, not a boss behind a desk. Let them feel like they don't have to be impressive around you, that they can just be. That's rare for them and magnetic. Lonely leaders are sharp. If there's even a hint of performance in your tone, they'll pick it up immediately. So if you're going to be honest, be honest. If you're going to joke, mean it. If you're going to challenge them, stand your ground. They don't want followers, they want equals. They want someone who can meet them in the space beyond roles, titles, and masks. Give them that, and you'll earn something most people never get from them: trust. Type 4, the idol worshiper. These are people driven by belief, not just admiration, but devotion. They need something larger than life to hold on to, a figure to inspire them, a symbol to pour their loyalty into. It could be a pop star, a politician, a spiritual leader, or even a social media personality. But whoever it is, they become the anchor for this person's emotional world. Why? Because deep down, idol worshippers often feel incomplete. There's a hole they can't quite explain, maybe left by loss, loneliness, or just a lifetime of unmet emotional needs. And instead of filling that space with themselves, they reach for someone else to elevate. Someone they believe has it all figured out. That's why they latch on so fiercely. You'll spot them instantly by their emotional reactions. If you challenge their idol even slightly, it's like pushing a button. They defend, deflect, and sometimes even lash out, not because they're irrational, but because you've shaken the structure they depend on. They don't just love their idol, they need them. So how do you reach someone like that without pushing them away? At first, mirror their devotion. Not in a fake way, but with understanding. If they talk about their favorite influencer, or public figure, or mentor, listen with interest. Acknowledge what they admire. Let them see that you get it. Because if they feel like you respect their passion, they'll feel safe and start seeing you as their new ideal. Be careful, though idol worshippers are thinkers too. Keep them physically active, engaged, and mentally stimulated so the emotional energy doesn't burn out too fast. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.